Did you know that being broke makes you susceptible to scams and scammers? Unfortunately. Welcome back. This is Wealth and Wellness with Grace. And on our last video, we discussed the what, why, where, who, why about scamming. And so today, we get to share some ways you can protect yourself from such scams. Statistics show that a lot of people who are low income and actually middle class are highly susceptible to being scammed, unfortunately. So you wonder why? I had to do my research. So I found out that when you're low income or you're dealing with financial challenges, if it's something enticing out there, such as you're gonna put in $1,000 and end up with $200,000, you're more highly open to listening to that investment strategy or whatever tactic that they're using and hoping that it can actually work itself out. So even if you are low income or middle class, stop being desperate, because financial desperation is what's causing you to be scammed. So figure out your finances, figure out a strategy that you need to utilize to help yourself build actual wealth legitimately, because you're not going to get it from scamming or being scammed. The next point is about financial literacy. So many times we grow up with no financial literacy. We don't discuss finances in families. Most times also, we don't discuss finances in schools. So we grow up in the world where we're supposed to have all these financial literate ideas and we don't have any, unfortunately. So scammers know that and they utilize that. So if you're great in finances, learn about finances instead of getting into this particular scam and you won't understand their tactics, because the economics teach certain things about finances. And that's what actually helped me to actually figure out some scams, because then if I'm investing all this money and I don't see no returns, my economics say that I'm losing money and I shouldn't invest in something that I'll keep losing money in. But sometimes if you're not financially savvy, you might think, oh, let me invest maybe 10. They'll lie to you and then they'll use that you don't know how this works. You don't know what this is. You don't know. You see, because they're using your financial illiteracy. So make sure that you're financially literate. Start teaching your kids. I talk about finances in my household with my children. My kids know about buying a house. They know about credit. And I'm talking about 13 and 15-year-old. They know about these things because I wanted to make sure that they are not great when they get to 18 and 20 and whatever, that they're not taken advantage of. So discuss this stuff with your kids because it's important and it will help them in the future. Another thing is being gullible, easily trusting to strangers. So understand yourself and also your challenges and your habits, and know people for who they are. You see? So, like, people always think I'm too nice, right? The thing is, I'm not as nice as they think I am. Because if it doesn't make sense, I'm out. So, simple as that. But if you're too nice and you're too pleasing and you're too this, you want people to like you, I always tell people that, you see, most times it's because we are desperate to be liked. And scammers know this. You want a friend. You see, you want a companionship. You want this and you're so desperate to be liked by these people. These people are not going to like you. They're going to use you. And that's what they want you for, to use you. So why would you even want to associate with somebody who wants to use you? I'd rather not. So I always tell friends and family that I'd rather have my principles. Not be like, but stand by my principles. So if you're desperate to be like, I'm sorry, you need to start thinking about, you see, get some worth. Learn your self-worth and your self-confidence, because until then, you're going to be susceptible, unfortunately. Another problem is having limited access to information. Where I grew up, I didn't grow up with the internet as most people grow up here, especially in the US. It's like Wi-Fi is everywhere for free. I didn't grow up like that. And if you went to the internet cafe, the Wi-Fi, you had to pay to have that Wi-Fi access. And so I didn't have that extra money to pay for Wi-Fi access to find out information and all this data, whatever is happening in the world, like I do now. So utilize the information you have. You see? So, and you might not even have the internet access, but also read books. What does the book say about such and such? Because every topic out there, trust me, somebody wrote a book about it. So don't trust people blindly and trust everything blindly. Do some research, even if you don't have access. And find out, ask people in a certain field. If somebody is talking about investing in real estate, find somebody who's a legitimate real estate investor. Ask them about whatever investment and see what they say. Because some of our friends actually have reached out. And even strangers, they've reached out and asked, Grace, what do you think about investing in such and such? And I give them my perspective. And most times it's not what they really want to hear because they really want to believe the scam. A month later, they come back and they tell me, Grace, you're right. I keep getting the same thing. You were right because I believe it was 2 years ago, right? In 2021, I got these calls and this particular lady was telling me, I really want to invest in this particular gentleman. And right now, this particular gentleman that he's talking about, guess what? He's facing fraud charges. And he's probably about to go to jail because they've been looking up information on him. The Federal Trade Commission has been on his behind. So I'm glad I told that lady, and I'm sure she's grateful that I did. So reach out to people who are doing actually the thing that you're trying to do. And also, if you need assistance, ask them for help. You see, because if that particular lady actually asked me for help, Grace, can you help me invest in? I wouldn't have said no. But most times we like the glitz and glamour. We want to associate with the celebrities, right? We don't want to associate with the locals or somebody who's starting out. But that person who's starting out, actually, you'd rather invest in them because guess what? They're going to actually treat you right as their initial investor. So think about that. But we'd rather invest with all these high names, right? High status symbols so we can be associated to them. Unfortunately, they're going to end up scamming you. So watch out. One of the other things are the legal resources. So sometimes if you're low income, and sometimes if you are probably new to all this information and what's going on, sometimes you don't know that you can actually advocate for yourself legally. If somebody sends you a document or a contract, you need to ask an attorney to look over it. You have a right to ask for a second opinion. But in most cases, we don't. We believe their word for it. And that's how they perpetuate those scams. Because those same contract, they send it to the next person. And the next person, you have 20 people with the same contract. But you could have avoided that if you asked an attorney to look over it. See, they might ask probably for some attorney fees. But that $100 or $200, whatever the consultation fee is, would have saved you thousands and thousands of dollars. So think about that. Are you going to invest initially in the research and asking for legal advice, or are you going to pay the high price point? Because sometimes we have to take accountability. What are you doing? What are you doing to protect yourself? Because the other person is giving you this contract. Protect yourself by getting somebody to look over that particular contract. Because then you get to protect your own interests. But when you have limited resources, sometimes you're thinking, I'm going to save money by using their attorney. By just signing the contract, I'm saving money. No, you're not. It's costing you money. Another thing is a lot of pressure to provide for our families sometimes. Because then you're thinking, okay, how can I use this limited income that I'm making to make multitudes, right? So I gotta compound this low $1,000. Because I remember they say that a lot of people invested whatever money they got in the recession. Guess what? They invested it in Ponzi schemes, unfortunately. That money was supposed to help you get out of debt. That money was supposed to pay landlords. Especially if you were dealing with inability to pay your rent. So why are you paying a scammer instead of paying your rent? Because that's all coming back to you. That's like karma. You're stealing, you see, from the landlord, thinking you're going to invest the money and God is going to help you compound. It doesn't work like that. I believe in karma. The way you treat other people, it comes back to you. So if this landlord is out here praying to God, you think God is going to listen to you and give you the multitudes that you're praying for? I don't know what God you believe in, but the God I know, okay, He knows to care about the people, especially the people who are doing the right thing. So do the right thing. And even if you have these financial challenges, especially if you want to care for your family, think about, okay, is what I'm doing, okay, investing all this money in the other Ponzi scheme, is it actually what caring for my kids? I've seen people take money out of their investment and putting in the Ponzi schemes. Life savings, life insurance, putting it in Ponzi scheme. Another thing is sometimes unregulated markets like payday loans, subprime lending, so many unregulated markets in our industries. The problem is you have to be the bigger person and do your own research about those particular markets and know who you're working with, right? Because those subprime lending and also these payday loans, they're making millions of dollars off of you. So think about that. How much interest are you paying? And then if you're coming to them, payday loan, how are you managing your money? Because that's how it works. You're coming to them because you're desperate. It's a last minute resort. Think about how you can manage your money better so you don't have to continue doing the same thing. It's a cycle that you have to break out of. Another thing is also learning about internet scams, because this is actually affecting a lot of individuals, especially now. A lot of romance scams, social media scams, all this internet. If you're trying to get a job, so many sites out there are not legitimate. So learning about that, because that will help you in the long run. One of the worst things is actually having language barrier, because a lot of scammers use that. If you don't understand something, don't sign anything. A lot of people have ended up in jail because of something they signed that wasn't actually true, because they told them something different. So language barrier is a big thing. We come here as immigrants. I came here and I was lucky to know English, because this can be a really serious challenge, especially for people like myself. If I came here with no English as a second language, so that can definitely impact you and actually your stay, and also how you get to move around in that particular economy, and you get to believe whatever people tell you because you don't know any better. So start learning. How can you read? Okay, how can you learn to write? So all that takes time, but try to put in the effort to actually learn to do it, whereby people are not reading for you. Because when they are always reading for you, you don't know exactly what they are reading on your behalf. You don't know what you're signing, because you have to make sure that you understand what you're signing, or you have to make sure you're not putting your life in danger. One thing I like about Dave Ramsey is learning to have an emergency fund. I used to be really challenged with savings until I learned about the Dave Ramsey solutions and whatnot that he teaches about emergency funds. And sometimes I know he's been mocked, and also people talk about that his systems don't work. It really helped me start thinking about my finances differently. Because if you're always in desperation, you see, you're always in fear. And anything goes, like you're always waiting to just be bailed out all the time. Life doesn't work like that. You can't always keep putting out fire. You have to be proactive in your own life. So even $1,000 saved will help you a long way. So do you know how many people actually have $1,000 saved right now as we speak? Not many. Statistics have shown that the numbers have actually dropped, especially after the pandemic. You see, we were in a recession and pandemic. The numbers of people who had $1,000 in their savings really went down. It used to be about 50 or 60 people percent, you see. Now it's way down because of all that. And so I had to question you. Think about having an emergency savings, because then you won't always be desperate to be bailed out. And that's how you're highly susceptible to these scams. I think it's also using password authentication. So nowadays we have like the two-way password authentication. That's really good. It can help you protect your passwords, so that the scammers are not out there with your information. And I know it can be also cumbersome logging in here and logging in there, but it will save you a long time. Beware of phishing emails, and also any information that's not warranted. And those links, do not click on those links, because that's how they get your information. So be careful, because you don't want your information out there on the black web. So don't click on that information. And also, in addition to that, think about the antivirus software. You see, because sometimes we have to invest in protecting ourselves. So if we can use some software, antivirus software, and also make sure that this software is from legitimate companies, that can also start to help you. One of the other things that can help you is monitoring our finances. This is a big thing, because sometimes we don't think about, let me look at my financial statements for that at the end of the month. And so months go by, these scammers are still taking money out of your pocket, right? And also on credit cards, you have all these charges on your credit card that you don't understand. So make sure you check those finances, and also keep up with your credit report. You see, so you have annualcreditreport.com that can help you see everything that's on your credit report, free of charge. So make sure you keep up with everything that's happening on your credit, to make sure that you're not getting scammed unknowingly. Another thing is remembering that even non-profits can be scams. This was one of the things that I really felt bad about, because sometimes we hear and also see these sub stories on the news and on the internet and Facebook, go fund me this, go fund me, and sometimes they're not legitimate, unfortunately. So I've had so many sub stories, and as soon as I wanted to send them money, I was like, go back. You see, because then you want to give to help. That's who we are. We want to help. The problem is, you don't know who's receiving your information on that end. It can be an actual scammer. And a lot of people on those programs have been scamming people, even non-profits. Somebody sets up this non-profit and is literally to scam people. Oh, these non-profits going to Africa. They are helping Africa. How have they actually helped Africa? Don't get me wrong. They're probably helping, but maybe not helping as much as they're enjoying the money from it. So make sure that you research all the organizations and all these GoFundMe, whoever you're investing your money in. And if it's too good to be true, probably is. And last but not least, trust your instincts and also report these scammers. A lot of people don't report them because they feel like they don't have any legal standing, so they can't really win the suits in court. Or sometimes people think, okay, if I report them, I'll look stupid, and also it's going to take my time. It's this, it's that, it's that. And I understand. The problem is all this keeps going on, and it keeps affecting other individuals. So if it goes unreported for so long, that's how they keep embezzling millions and millions of dollars. And this scam starts one person into a million people being scammed, because it compounds. Because they are literally robbing Peter to pay Paul for so long, until after they can't rob Peter to pay Paul no more. So I really feel terrible about this, and that's why you have to make sure that you report and also trust your instincts. So I'm really hoping that these points helped you, because you're definitely going to need them on your journey. And best of luck to you. Share in the comments below what was your biggest takeaway, and I want to hear about some of the points that you might think are important for the viewers of this channel. Thank you, and